Okay, so this will be the last video you need to watch today. We're on 7-10, and on this one we're comparing tenths and hundredths and deciding which ones are bigger. So let's do some problems. So let's say I gave you 0.5 and I wanted you to compare it to 0.7. Well, we're in the tenths place. So this is the same as 5/10, and this is the same as 7/10. Another way you can think about it is it's like it's 5 dimes and 7 dimes. Well, this would be the amount of 50, right? 50 dimes. And this would be the amount of 70 dimes because dimes are worth 10 cents each. So which one's bigger, 50 dimes or 70 dimes? 70 dimes would be bigger. So when they're in the same place, just figure out which one has the bigger number. Meaning which one because they're in the same place, which one has the bigger number on top of it. So it even works with the hundredths. Watch. If I give you 36 hundredths and I want you to compare it with 12 hundredths. This is 36 hundredths. This is 12 hundredths. It's the same as thinking about it as pennies. You can also think about it as if these were pennies because there's 100 pennies in a dollar. So it's the same idea. So which one would be bigger, 36 pennies or 12 pennies? Well, in the end, 36 pennies would have been bigger. So like before, where we said which one has the bigger number, we do the same exact thing when it's in the hundredths place. Look for the one with the bigger number on top. Because they're both in the same place. It has the tenths place, hundredths place. Tenths place, hundredths place. When they're in the same place, you just look for which one is the same. But sometimes you'll be given a problem like this. 0.7 compared to 0.86. So this 0.7 is the same as 7/10. Kind of like this. Or you could consider it like 7 dimes. And how much is that worth? 70. This one right here is like 86 hundredths, which could be written in the fraction like this. Okay? Or you could think about it as 86 pennies, which would be what? 86. Which one's bigger, 70 or 86? 86 is bigger. So this one would be bigger. Another way that I like to think about it is I could change this number right here, this decimal. And I could do 0.7, and what if I added on the thousand or the hundredths place? I'd put a 0 here. And now this number is 70, and this number is 86. They're now both in the hundredths place. And I could compare them more easily. 86 is the bigger number, so it would have been greater. Now I want to show you that again. So if I gave you 0.3, and I want you to compare it with 0.25. Okay? this number right here can be changed to the hundredths place. I keep the 3 the same, that was the tenths place, but I add a hundredths, and I just put a 0 on top. It's now 30. This one already had the tenths place and the hundredths, so I don't have to change anything about it. So which one's bigger, the 30 or the 25? You're right, the 30 would be bigger, so in the end, 0.3 is bigger than 0.25. Okay, there's one other strategy you could use. So you could also, if I gave you 0.4 and I wanted you to compare it with 0.55. Another thing you can do is look at the places. This one's 0.4 and I start at the tenths. This one's 0.5. Are they the same or different? They're different. Which one's bigger, the 4 or the 5? This 5 right here is bigger. So in the end, that number would have been bigger. You can see that again right here. What if I gave you 0.7 and I want you to compare it with 0.72? Well, I look at my tens place first. They're both the same. Then I look at my hundredths place. There is an imaginary 0 here. So which one's bigger in the hundredths place, 0 or 2? 2 is bigger, so in the end, 0.72 would have been the biggest. Okay, those are just multiple strategies you could use to solve. The first one being, you think about it as in money, where you turn, if it's in the hundredths place, like, let's see, did I do one like that? I might not have. Okay, so where it's in the hundredths place, you think about it like that. Or like here, we changed it to the hundredths place so they were both the same and compared. Or you could do what I did here where I compare one place value at a time. So practice with me right here. Let's say I did 0.4 and I wanted to compare it with 0.72. I'm going to show you all 3 methods that I showed you before. So this will be number 1, meaning use money, the idea of money. Number 2, make the same, make it the same place value. And then the last one, number 3, will be compare place value one at a time. Okay, so the first one, I'm looking at it as if it's money. 0.4 compared with 0.72. Well, this is the same, since it's in the tenths place, this is the same as saying I have 4 dimes, which would mean I have 40 cents. Since this is in the hundredths, this is like I have 72 pennies, which means I have 72 cents. Which one's bigger, 40 or 72? If you said 72, you were correct. Okay? Now, this is the same problem, but this time I'm going to do it another way. I have 0.4, and I'm comparing it with 0.72. I need to make this 0.4, because it's only in the tenths place, I need to make it into the hundredths place. So that means I make my line, keep it there, but I also make my line for the hundredths place, and I fill it in with the 0. So now I have 0.40 compared to 0.72. Which one's bigger? Once again, that 72 is bigger. My last way is I can compare the places. So I have 0.4 and I'm comparing it with 0.72. I start, this one's in the tenths, so I underline the tenths, underline the tenths. And I compare which one's bigger, 4 or 7? 7's bigger, So, in the end, 0.72 would have been the answer. See, either way got me that right answer. You can pick whichever one makes the most sense to you. And if you pick one and you want more help with it, let me know and I can help you on Google Hangouts. I've helped kids all day long. Please use me. I'm here and willing. Just know that I might be in meetings, and if I am, just be patient. I will get to you. So let's try a few on your own. Let's do 0.8 compared with 0.89. Okay, try it on your own. Pause the video. When you're ready, turn it back on. So I'm going to show you strategy number 1 on this one. This is the tenths place right here. So this is the same as having 8 dimes, which would have been 80 cents. This one has the tenths and hundredths, so it's in the hundredths place. So that means I have 89 pennies, which is the same as 89 cents. Which one's bigger, 80 or 89? 89 would have been bigger. Okay? Try this one for me. Let's do and we're going to use strategy number 3 for this one. So I'm going to start at the tenths place because that's my first place. Are 6 and 7 the same? No, they're not. So then I look at it and I think, is 7 or 6 bigger? Well, 7's bigger. So in the end, 0.75 would have been bigger than 0.67. Okay, last one, using the second strategy where I make them the same. So I'm going to give you 0.8 and I want you to compare it with 0.43. This one's in the tenths place and this one's in the hundredths place. So I want to make this one 0.8 be in the hundredths place. So I add the hundredths place and put a 0 on top. I now ask myself, is 0.80 or 0.43 bigger? Well, 80 would be bigger, so 80 would be bigger than 43, so that would be your answer. Okay, I hope this helped. Let me know if you need more on Google Hangouts. See you guys.